Hi, everyone. It's July 15th, Tuesday. You're here at the CHAOSS Weekly Community Call yet again. Glad to see everyone here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for chatting with us and hanging out with us for a minute or two. I will share my screen. Here we go. As you all are aware, this is part of the CHAOSS Code of Conduct, so just keep that in mind as you interact with us here. Yeah, and if you have a word that you always seem to misspell, Dawn and I have the same word, which is practitioner. Sadly, it hasn't gotten better since we've released the practitioner guides. You'd think with more practice I would get it, but that's not the case. So IOUR, like what would be a word? I can't even think of a word that meets that.
Behavior.
Yeah, behavior.
Oh, you're getting all fancy. Yeah, with the IOUR. Yeah.
It's not fancy, it's British.
Fancy to us in the middle of the country here.
Right? We're just simple people, Damien. We can handle the elegance.
I don't believe I know of any words in standard American English that end in IOUR. So I think that is probably unique to the British variant.
Yeah. And clearly spell check is biased against anyone not American for whatever reason. Terrible. Okay, let's jump into it. So I think we are not having any CHAOSS meetings in August for a little break for everybody. These are the only two that I believe are still going to happen. So we're kind of waiting to hear back, definitively by the end of July is what I told the working group leaders. If your group wants to keep going, you have to let me know by the end of July, or I'm going to announce that they're all canceled. So Augur and the science and research groups, I think, will continue through August, but everybody else, you get a break, including this meeting. So we will keep reminding everyone, and the newsletter will go out tomorrow, so it'll be in there as well. Anybody have questions on that?
Just a few short weeks away. Hard to believe.
Yeah, I know. Where's the year going?
I know.
I think Mary Blessing, when she was posting the chaotic of the month. So also shout out to Victoria. Hooray. I should have posted that in here in the agenda. But yeah, she said something like the half the year is gone. Hope you're like, wait, hold up. What? It's true. Oh, what is happening? I can't keep up. So yeah, so that's what we're doing in August. I'll still be around. I don't know about everybody else, but I'll still be around. So yeah, there you go. Next one on the list, if you haven't heard or seen in your LinkedIn feeds or wherever else, recording of the OSSNA talks were released on this playlist here, which hopefully it doesn't start auto playing. Sometimes those happen, but yay, there we go. So all of the talks should be here. And also I think Dawn mentioned in one of her posts somewhere that it's linked from the schedule as well. So if you had a talk on your schedule or on the schedule that you thought looked interesting and you didn't get to see it, you can hear it now. You can watch it. So yay.
How was the turnout in Denver? For those of you.
Yeah, we talked
prior. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this last week, but yeah, it was light. Honestly, it was pretty light.
Yeah, I talked to Angela and she said that, so they're pros, right? They do this all the time, and there are certain patterns that they count on. One pattern is that people will register at the very last minute. So they'll get a certain percentage bump in the last 2 weeks of people registering at the last minute. That did not happen.
Okay.
For I think maybe the first time.
Okay.
And the attendance from outside the US was much lighter than normal because of, well, obvious reasons.
Yeah, probably some geopolitics, I'm sure, had a play in that. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just know they had an absolute ton of t-shirts left over. So my family is walking around in OSSNA t-shirts now because they just were like, please take these. Like they just had boxes and
they
boxes
don't want
of
to
them.
take them home. Sure. Okay.
Nope. So yeah, so we all look like a matching family.
That's awesome. But I gotta say, like the content as always was really
Sure.
top notch. I mean, there were some really amazing talks. So I would encourage you to sort of trawl through either the schedule or that playlist and watch a few because there was some really good stuff there.
It's, and I kind of, anyway, I mean, I kind of pine for the days when like Member Summit was smaller and OSSNA was smaller. They used to be so much more, just more accessible. And they've just gotten really big over the years through no fault of anybody. I mean, open source is a giant enterprise. So maybe that was kind of nice in a weird way that it was smaller.
Yeah, we had about 50 people swing by the booth total, which is like a lot less than usual.
Okay.
But it was good because you could actually have conversations with people and it wasn't,
Yeah.
sometimes it's so overwhelming that you just don't really get a chance and people walk by and they see the booth is busy and they just never come back. So that part was actually pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions about OSSNA or these talks?
My
Awesome.
only follow-up is Europe is soon-ish, right? September. Okay.
Yes, last week of August.
August. Okay. Gosh, just another pretty bad time. Like that's anyway. Personally, that's like the semester kickoff for me. Like that's a really tricky time.
It's
For
back to
Europe, it's
school week for my
mostly-
kids.
Yeah.
For Europe, it's mostly vacations. August.
Yeah.
University doesn't start until September, October.
Okay.
We were thinking too that might be another reason for the light-ish attendance at the North America was that Europe was so soon thereafter. Like people just went
That is
for that.
true. You got to pick one. That is
Mhm.
true. Years ago, I had 2 conferences that were the first 2 weeks of the semester, and I canceled 2 weeks of class to start the semester. And I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that anymore.
I don't know if I was a student, I would love that.
No, they didn't seem to mind, but I'm like, yeah, that seems not okay.
We won't tell. Your secret's safe with us.
Yeah, well, this is recorded, so whatever.
We can just edit that part out. Have AI edit that part out for us. Just like when we do a CHAOSS cast and we just have in the chat, edit Paul, like take this part out. We'll just start doing that. Maybe AI can do that for us. It'd be awesome. Okay, any other questions, comments, discussion about the OSSNA, anything? All right. Okay, so the next one on our list is that the university working group is working on a new practitioner guide. Yay.
Maybe expert guide, but
We're still calling it a practitioner guide.
whatever until we're just kind of sorting out the like what even goes into this at the moment. And so anyway, it's just really just to try to help researchers understand the impact of the software that they're producing. And we've kind of broken this down into 2 things. One is around software specific impacts. So like if you produce a piece of software, like how do we understand the impact of that software downstream? And the second is you see that community specific efforts. Like if somebody's doing research work and one of the things they want to demonstrate is community specific gains that they've made, how would they go about expressing those things, which is a little bit different than like just the downstream use of a piece of software. So we're sorting that out a little bit. The social impact came up as well. I'm not quite sure what that would entail yet. So we're just working through this to some degree. I think I don't know if this would be the only guide that would have this type of construction where there's like 2 different things you can look at. You know what I mean? Like one is like software. understand the impact of the software. And the other is understand the impact of community building efforts. And if the recommendation might be just to create 2 guides, or I'm a little concerned about overloading things in one guide. That's all.
I would maybe leave it, I would leave it in one guide.
Okay.
If those, because I think those 2 are kind of, I feel like they're kind of tied together, right? You can't easily separate them. And it might be possible to do it kind of like what we were just working on with the demonstrating value guide, where, you know, we had what was it, criticality and project health
Mm-hmm.
that came together to make up priority.
Okay.
So thinking about how those 2 things interplay together.
We could. I think there is a scenario where like somebody could create like an R, like a really small, like small software component that has no community developing part to it. So would that still play together in your mind? Or would that just be like there are situations where their community component really doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
But I think if it's, I mean, scroll up just a little bit. What was the title of this guide so far? I know it's kind of a working title, but research software impact. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see in more details, but
Okay.
I'd be inclined, if it's an expert guide, to put it all in one place.
That's fine.
I think you really need to add people from Europe to this because the vision is completely different. These things are really part of the career path for researchers in Europe, especially in France, where I have experience. Like INRIA produces like huge amounts of open source and is part of the project you present for evaluation.
What are they?
And it was like that for many, many years. I left 10 years ago and it was already like that.
Okay. Okay.
And are you working on this in the University OSPO working group?
Yeah. Yep.
So Damien, that might be a good place to jump in and provide some feedback.
Yeah, sure. But I wasn't in the European side for 10 years, so I might not have a fresh view of this. I think we really need to find someone who is there. But I remember it's way different. Like every project like Open Infra were born in that scenario.
There are a couple of folks I could reach out to, Damien. So Tom Menz is in the University of Mons, I think, in Brussels, and then Nicholas Julian. I think some of you, I think both.
I might be able to connect you to someone in INRIA
Okay.
or CNRS.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting just to kind of ask the question and see what they're taking a look at.
Okay.
Thanks. The top one there, software citations. Do you see that? So that's the idea that you would understand how a piece of software is cited in an article. This is really, we're not sure quite what to do with this. This is something that everybody wants, but it's something that a lot of very, very smart people have not solved yet fully. So we're not quite sure what to do with that one. Anyway. Like in a perfect world, you could just like look up how often your software is cited in a journal across journal articles. Wouldn't that be cool? But like connecting all of the pieces to get that done, I don't think has been.
I think the GitHub allows you now to assign an ORCID to a repository. That might help for the people who actually do it.
Yep. I think that's so good. I think there are like inroads being made in this. But maybe not, maybe not a full solution at this moment. And to your point, like the GitHub stuff, those are really excellent inroads. And maybe like for the model or for the guide, we just kind of first say those kinds of things. Like here are a few ways that you can try to get this info. Okay, that's it. That's really helpful. Thank you, everybody.
And let me know if you want any help with the guide.
Okay, thanks.
Any final questions for Matt, thoughts? And if somebody wants to collaborate on this, they could do it async, or they could join the university working group, which happens on every other Wednesday. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. And we'll have one more meeting before the August break.
Break. Okay, perfect. So feel free to look that up on the calendar, or I could do it for you. Or join, there's also a Slack channel. If you don't know about it, you can join the Slack channel as well. Awesome. Okay. Just wanted to let everybody know in case you missed it, there is a new CHAOSS cast out. I almost know what some of these words are. But if you want to listen, you can certainly do that. It does actually sound super interesting. I have not listened to it yet. But it does sound super interesting about the paid open source model and contributor motivation, things like that, and how you get data around that. So super interesting. Give it a listen. It's a long one, but that's okay. Worth your time. If you're on your commute or working out or whatever it is that people do these days. There you go. Questions on that? Okay. Oh, yeah,
Remember this conversation?
I do. And we were going to consolidate them, right?
Yep.
I didn't do that yet. I think because Kevin was going to look at it to see if there was a better way to do it. And
Okay.
he did look at it and could not find a better way. And then I just never came back to it. So
Okay.
there
If
you
you
go.
recall, it was just 3 tiles. It was like all metrics models, and I think maybe browse by topic.
Yes.
That was
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
And then the browse by topic would take you to this page.
Would just be here.
Yep.
Yes. I think it was the title of it or something like that, that it's hard to something, I forget now what the problem was. There was something that was a little janky that we were going to have to kind of do a janky workaround, but that's okay. We're going to
Okay.
do that. So let's
You're
put over
welcome.
here.
Just a bunch of work. Hopefully it's not too
Yeah,
much.
it's actually not that bad.
Okay.
See, this makes it look like I was just waiting for approval from this group to move forward. So that's why I worded it this way. So it does not look like I dropped the ball at all. Thanks.
You've
Thanks,
just been
Matt.
waiting patiently for the
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I couldn't do anything with it until it came here. Yeah, no, thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up. And then all we have left really on our agenda are just a few reminders. If you know of any other open CFPs, feel free to drop them in here. This was the only one I know of right now, because it is kind of like past the flurry that we get earlier in the year. And then of course, CHAOSScon Africa is happening August 13th. I did have a question. Someone asked me and I didn't know the answer to that. Do we have any folks outside of Africa from CHAOSS that are going to be there? I'm just curious.
Not me.
I think
Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry,
not
I
sure.
cut you off.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure, but I think we may have, because it's co-located with Oscar First, so
Mhm.
we usually have a lot of folk coming for Oscar First and then using that opportunity. We may, not sure at the moment.
Okay. Well, I hope that can happen. Yeah, because I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I didn't know of anybody that was gonna be able to attend that, so just curious. And then of course, there is our calendar of upcoming talks. So if you are giving a talk, feel free to add it to this calendar. You can just click on the day of the talk, fill that out and it's added automatically. So no big deal. It's super lightweight. We just try to kind of keep track of those and promote them if we can. So that's why that's there. And now
So
we
I-
are at the end. Go
I
ahead.
had one comment that I just wanted to put on people's radar. So I've been kind of following a conversation on a different list about the Cyber Resilience Act. So this is, I think, a large European act with respect to like, I think it definitely touches open source stuff. And so there was, the conversation was about, will the CRA, the Cyber Resilience Act, create a new form of like consulting where, you know, people provide supports to become, if not compliant, but like aware of kind of the how they respond to the CRA, like people meaning companies. And so it's an interesting thread, but I was wondering if it's something that we at CHAOSS should be kind of following at all. We've never looked at connecting with legislation, really. We've worked with government agencies, but we've never really thought about trying to move towards some legislation where, say, a guide, as an example, or some metrics or anything could provide support to organizations looking to, I'll just stay with the word, become compliant with the CRA. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't have any answers, and maybe none of you have thought about this, but it's something you might want to take a look at.
There's a hand up.
Yeah, Abdul.
Yeah, hi, I'm new here, so I raised up my hand because what you spoke about is my field, which is cybersecurity, and I do small talks on open source security. So, I feel like what can be done, maybe we can mirror what OpenSSF did. So OpenSSF actually created a baseline metrics for small organizations or small and medium organizations for you to, it's more like a checklist of cyber security frameworks that you need to put in place for you to be able to operate. And because those big NIST frameworks, ISO 27000 and all of that, they're so large to the extent that not all small organizations can afford to bring on board somebody who has a deep experience in that. And they really do not even start to, the understanding of how to now be compliant to that particular framework is difficult. So what OpenSSM did was create a baseline metrics or framework for small organizations. We can take it up from there, or CHAOSS can take it up from there, where you do something very, very small, more like a checklist of from this CRA, specifically focusing either EU, or you can even make it largely acceptable to other regions too as well. So that's my opinion.
That's great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and just to add to that, so the CRA is an incredibly complex piece of legislation. And there are loads of people working on it, particularly, as Abdul mentioned, in the cybersecurity world and the OpenSSF. And my opinion is that there are Linux Foundation projects that are better equipped to do this, like the OpenSSF, for example. Because I know the Linux Foundation is pretty heavily involved in this. Mirko Bohm, in particular, has been doing quite a lot around the CRA. And so my opinion is that it's probably just too complex for us to need to jump into it when there are other organizations that are doing quite a bit.
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you.
I could be wrong. It's just we're always looking to try to focus, and that feels like maybe an area that we don't need to focus on.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
super important though. It's very, very important. And it does touch a lot, basically every organization and lots of open source projects.
I should reach, is David still doing OpenSSF stuff? Wheeler? Do you know?
Probably.
I would assume so too. Okay. Maybe I'll reach out to him. I'm kind of curious. Maybe you're right. Maybe the Chaos Project isn't the place to do it. I'm kind of just curious how the movement is occurring. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Mirko Bohm would be another good person to reach out to if you just want to get a better sense for how this is impacting kind of the open source community and the ecosystem around it, the companies around it. He has a really good handle on it.
Okay, and how they're repositioning themselves to accommodate this. Okay. Okay, cool. This is very good. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Abdul.
Somebody else you might want to ping is Ria, because I know Ria has been on top of this from the very beginning, Ria Shellnut.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of thoughts and, she has that nice balance of a legal background, plus all the open source knowledge, plus her knowledge of chaos too. So
Okay.
she might be somebody interesting to talk to as well.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. What else do we have to talk about?
And hi Matt. If you're taking this up, I also like to be a part of it because cybersecurity is my interest. And I mean, I'm new here. I actually just want to contribute.
Yeah.
And I'm up for it if you're bringing this up.
Easiest thing, could you maybe are you on Slack? Are you on our Slack? Yeah, can you just DM me your email? That way I could kind of loop you in that way for some of these folks. That'd be good. Thanks. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Right. What else? Anything else? Okay, it's looking like no. So thank you, everybody, for showing up and for being here today. Good conversations. You can have the rest of your time back today and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you here next week.
Thanks, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.